you on another edition of Singles and Married with Christi. And may I say at this point that this is a special edition because I have a very, very dear person to my heart as a guest on the program today. He is by name Emmanuel E. Egila. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
So good to have you on the show today.
So I
can't believe you are here. And I'm so excited having you. Okay, before we go further into our discussion, or even before I tell you what it is we are talking about today, I would like to say a little about our special guest. He is a graduate of public administration from the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Nigeria. He also graduated from the Kenneth Hagin's Rema Bible Training Center, Nigeria, Kaduna State. Egila is the host of the monthly Believers Meeting tagged 45, which holds in the city of Kaduna once in a month. 45 is a globally impactful event with accompanying testimonies from far and near. His mission is simple: to help believers discover and fulfill God's purpose for their lives. He is also the author of the online daily devotional, The Purpose Conversation with E.E. Egila. And may I pause and say here that I have been a beneficiary of these two programs, and honestly, every day I know what I get once I listen to those programs and when I read that devotional. My husband and I, in fact. He currently serves as an associate pastor with Father's Delight International Ministries, Zaria, Kaduna State, Nigeria. He is the executive director and co-founder of Impact Crest Limited. Emmanuel had previously worked for 10 years as a regional sales controller for Globacom, a telecommunications firm operating across West Africa. He is also a policy analyst, anointed teacher, and author. He is a speaker in churches and conferences as he itinerates in ministry, preaching and teaching God's word in the power of the Holy Spirit. His life and ministry is marked by following God's purpose and plan. E.E. Egila, as he is fondly called, and may I say, he also is called fondly the Purpose Man. He's happily married to the very beautiful Dr. Ene Egila. She is a medical doctor and they are blessed with a lovely son, Alice. It's so wonderful having you. I've known you for 18 years and there's never been a regret. My life story will not be complete without you in it. That's the truth. But because I'm not talking about my life story today, we'll just let it be. And I'm sure people that from my introduction of Pastor E.E. Egila, you already begin to suspect what the area our conversation will be tilting towards today. Of course, there will be the issue of purpose. And of course, there will be issue of marriage. So bringing purpose and bringing marriage together, that is what we are talking about today. Sir, you're welcome once again.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so today we are looking at the topic, why you should discover your purpose before marriage. But before we start talking about the why, sir, can you tell us what is purpose? Because someone will say, okay, why do I need to bet? Okay, what's purpose?
Wow, good question. Purpose, I will put it in simple terms, is the very difference you were created to make.
Wow.
The specific difference. There are a lot of difference you can make, but there's a particular difference you were created to make, what God brought you to achieve. So it's your specific assignment, is the specific difference, or is the specific mark God brought you into this world to achieve. There are a lot of things you can do, but that specific one is God's purpose for your life.
This means there's a particular thing that everybody was born to come and do.
Yeah, there's a particular assignment.
So how can someone discover that particular assignment?
Okay, well, in the
because now someone is listening to us and is saying, okay, if there's a particular thing, then how do I know what particular thing I've been called to do?
Okay, in the words of one of my role model, Dr. Miles Moreau, he said, if you want to know the purpose of a thing, ask the creator. If you want to know the purpose of a particular phone, ask the person who made the phone. So one of the ways to start in discovering your purpose is to ask your creator. is to ask your creator, what is in your mind when you created me? What were you thinking about? What particular solution do you want me to provide? So basically, it starts from there. But it is that simple that most people miss it.
Oh, wow.
So most people don't ask their creator, why did you bring me into this world? So that, for me, that question is the most important question to ask. Ask God, why did you create me? So discovering your purpose is twofold. One, you look upward, which is asking your creator. Then secondly, you look inward. So that means you look upward. He that created you, he will tell you what it is. But if that is difficult for you, he has put some equipment inside of you. Every assignment has an equipment. So he has put some equipment inside of you. Those equipment are called your potentials. The things you are gifted to do, the things you can do very easily. So you look inward, you look upward, and you look inward. And basically inward, you look at what are my potentials? What do I do very easily? Do I write easily? Do I speak easily? What do I do effortlessly? I don't struggle to do it. For instance, I struggle with mathematics, but I don't struggle with writing. So it will be funny that I will now start insisting on doing something mathematical. When I write very easily, I can just write with ease. So you look at those areas, it will give you a clue to what your purpose is, the things you do with ease, the things you are in grace to do, the potentials that you have. For instance, I have a 5-year-old son. I can already tell you from the potentials I can tell that this is where he's going to. This is the kind of things he will be well fitted to do. So that's
awesome.
Basically.
When you talked about when you were saying mathematics and all that, it's one of the things I always say to my husband, that I'm not good with maths, that's the truth. But my husband, he's so good with maths. So you see, we are opposites on that axis. So indeed, I cannot dare to say, okay, I want to do things that have to do with mathematics. But he dared in that direction. I dared in another different direction. So we've heard from Pastor E. Gila. He said, look upwards, look inwards. Wow. Okay. So, why is it important for a person to discover their purpose before marriage? I know that some people discover their purpose before marriage, some after marriage. But why is it important for someone to discover it before marriage?
Okay, well, for before marriage is, if we look at, there's always a principle of first mention. The first time something happened. When God created Adam, we noticed that God gave Adam a work to do.
Yes.
Adam was busy doing that work.
Yes.
Then he brought a woman.
Yes.
So the first thing Adam discovered was his purpose. God created him, put him in the garden. He was working.
That's right.
That work Adam was doing was his purpose.
That's right.
Then Eve came. So it was easy for them to move on that pedestal, because Eve came in to see Adam fulfilling his purpose.
Yes.
The issue is most of the marital crisis people have is the Bible says, can two work together except they agree? So if I am going this direction and my spouse is going this direction, it's going to be a major issue in marriage.
Yes.
So it is important for you to know what your purpose is, so that you will know who will fit into that purpose.
Exactly.
Let me just give a personal example. Yes. On seeing my wife, I know that I have a call to be a pastor. I have a call to do with people and all that. So if I notice a lady doesn't like people, I'm likely going to avoid her, because the kind of thing I'm going to do has to do with people. So I'm going to avoid her, because it's going to be, I want people around, she doesn't want people around. It's already a major cause of marital conflict.
That means knowing your purpose before marriage helps to streamline
your choices.
Yes,
it streamline. It will go a long way to help you to decide who to marry and who not to marry.
So you already know this one. No, it just helps you to cut off those that are not supposed to be in your life, and then it helps you to be able to see who should be in your life.
Yes, who is best fitted for you. As in, there's
exactly
fitting.
There's a fitting. Yes.
The thing about marriage is that there's somebody well fitted for
exactly.
you. It's not that the person is wrong or something is wrong with the person, but the person is not fitted.
Exactly.
Your kind of assignment and the person's assignment is not fitted for each other. Because both the husband and the wife have their unique purpose.
Exactly.
But there must be a point of that they are fitted for each other.
Exactly. You know, when you said fitted for each other, there's a favorite line of mine that I used to say. I wish my husband were here. It resonates deeply with him. Where I say, because two people are good doesn't mean they are meant for each other.
Oh, yes.
Or because two people love God passionately doesn't mean they are meant for each other. There has to be a fitting, there has to be a calling that will match, that will fit, the future you are going into. And like someone would say, I think it's my mentor that said it. He said people marry for where they are rather than marrying for where they are going to. You should not just look at the now. Look at the future as well. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Now, having said that, are there any risks involved if a single marries another single and they have no purpose at all? Especially for maybe with emphasis on the man. Is there any risk involved when a lady marries a man that doesn't have an idea where he's going to?
Yes, there is a major risk involved. The thing about marriage is a ministry of help.
Yes.
Both spouses are supposed to help each other fulfill God's purpose and plan for their life. So if the man hasn't even discovered his purpose, how will it be of help to her as regards her own purpose for her life? So it's going to be double jeopardy. He doesn't even know his purpose. How will he help someone?
Yes.
So it's important that the man, and of course, in the context of marriage, the man is the leader.
Yes.
If there is already a problem with the man not discovering his purpose, there's going to be a major conflict. So it is important. Yes. Of course, like you earlier said, we have cases where people get into marriage without discovering God's purpose or plan for their lives. But it's not too late if they can discover in marriage and the mercy of God speaks for them and they'll be able to align.
Yes.
For instance, Kenneth Copeland and Gloria Copeland didn't know anything about God's purpose. They were not even saved. They didn't know anything about God's purpose and plan for their life.
Yes.
But they got married and today they are fulfilling God's purpose and plan for their life. So it's risky for the lady.
Yes.
Because one of the questions you should be asking a guy, not the first question you should ask him, is not even where are you from, where do you work, is what do you want to do with your life. But unfortunately, most ladies ask the guy, what do you do? What kind of car do you drive? Where do you work? All those where do you live? All those will pass away. But if the man is able to tell you in clear terms, you will now know if this is the man you should go with. If it is not, you let him be. So it is. But some people marry without that. But that when we are saying this, so that if you are married and say, okay, my own is finished. No, it is not. There's still hope for you. But it is risky. That means the foundation of the marriage is already going to be faulty. You are going this direction. I'm going this direction. For instance, let me give my example. I married a medical doctor. So I already know that ahead of time, I'm not going to be seeing my wife a lot at home. I know that there are times where she will be on call for 2 days. So I already have that mental adjustment. Okay, there will be times where I have to be at home with the kid without her. I have to prepare. So if you are not ready for that adjustment, then avoid marrying a doctor. That's just one tiny example. Avoid that. So I just know that no, a doctor won't be for it. I want a woman that will be at home all the time. If you don't want to marry a career woman, so you just say, oh, this is not for me. So for the lady, it's important. If it doesn't, the chances of you fulfilling God's purpose for your life is slim. Marriage is a major factor if you will fulfill God's purpose and plan for your life. One of the things I tell my wife all the time is, thank you for helping me fulfill God's purpose. And she says the same thing to me. So if I don't know my purpose, I'm likely not going to help her fulfill her own. And it will be a mess. So the safest thing is to marry a man who can tell you in clear terms where he's going.
That's right. Okay, I was going to ask, one of the questions that I would have asked is what advice you have for couples who married and are just living purposelessly, and if there's anything they can do about it. But in the course of answering the other question, you even spoke about it, where you said even in marriage, it is we can always start the moment we know better. We can start to do better. I like this statement that if you know better, you should do better. So if at this moment, even if after, let's say 10, 15, 20 years in marriage, you suddenly realize that there's something I missed, about purpose and everything, we've not been doing it right, you can start from where you are. The whole idea is that you start. That you just don't say, I'm coming too late and everything. No, you start from where you are and begin to build up. And there's one thing I know with God, there's always that room for speed, and restoration. He It gives you the grace to be able to cover up grounds that you ultimately would have covered up in the past if you are up and doing. So thank you so much for that. All right, but there's something I discovered again with a lot of women, that they get married and they just go cool. You just don't hear them again. Sometimes they were doing something, they were on fire for God. Some of them had great voices. Like when I was in school, I know some particular ladies that had great voices, that when they sang, you could literally feel the presence of the Holy Spirit. You could feel him, in like they are bringing him down. But I don't hear of them anymore. And I am wondering, should marriage make a woman not live out purpose?
Well, you see, the challenge most times is a lot of women think marriage is an achievement. So that's so most times when they get married, okay, I've achieved that. Don't live for marriage, live for a purpose. So if all you are living for is that, okay, once I get married, there's this word, when I get married I will settle down. Some of them actually, the word settle down for them is, okay, I've achieved the highest ambition I have for life. But don't live for marriage, live to fulfill a purpose. That's one. Then secondly is that they didn't do the homework properly in trying to ask important questions before marriage. For instance, if you have a purpose and plan or something you want to do with your life, ask yourself, is this man I'm about getting married comfortable with it? Some men are threatened by their wives, right? So some women get into the marriage and the man say, no, you can't be out there, you can't be prominent. But for men who think like that, I push my wife. If she's better, the glory comes to me. So I tell her that all your medical credentials, whatever you achieve with you. So if in courtship you discover that the man is not so that is comfortable with a woman doing these things, then you may need to check.
Exactly.
Yes, there's no one person you must marry.
Yes, that's true.
So
that's
the mistake most people feel is that there's only one person
that was created.
There's no one person.
Yes.
There's just that person that is fitted for God's assignment. So for some of them, they get married and the husband say no. I know of a lady who met me and said, I used to love singing. Now I'm married, my husband doesn't want me to sing anymore. So she's a fantastic singer. I've heard her sing and I said, why are you not singing? So, and that's why I said before that if you marry wrongly, you're likely not going to fulfill God's purpose and plan. And it's both ways. Sometimes it's the women that stop their husbands from fulfilling God's purpose and plan. So one of them is that they see marriage as an achievement, and after marriage they let it go. Or two, maybe the spouse they marry doesn't see sense in what they are doing. So it just ends there. But it's important that you can prayerfully, when we get to that kind of, so we just tell the lady, prayerfully talk to God and pray that, okay, you will have a different perspective, that marriage is not about achievement. And let my spouse see sense in what I'm doing and let him appreciate it and see that, okay, my wife can be out there without me being threatened. You don't need to be threatened. For instance, my wife, she doesn't know anything that happens with her when it comes to her professional development. I'm responsible. I do everything. She sometimes even her email, as I'm on my way here, I saw an email. I know she's never going to read her mail. So I'm going to go and tell her, oh, there's a professional course you are scheduled to do. She won't read her email because by default I read her emails for her. So if you have support. That's support. So support is key. And she does the same for me. I used to say, well, maybe if I didn't marry her, maybe I won't be where I am today as regards God's purpose and plan for my life, because she's a push, she supports, you have to do this, you have to do that. So if you don't have a partner that does that, you are likely not going to fulfill God's purpose, and you are going to go silent.
Exactly. Indeed, so many things have been said today, but may I just, as we round up our session today, talk about a few things Pastor E.E. Aguilar mentioned. He said, don't live for marriage, live for purpose. And then he said, if you marry wrongly, you will probably not fulfill God's assignment and purpose for you. These are powerful points that he has mentioned today. Now, it's left for you as a single to make your choice correctly. For those that are married, it's never too late. You can begin to adjust now. And that is why I would always say, do not marry someone that is an unbeliever, because you are not even on the same lane. You are not on the same path. So you will not even be able to understand yourselves and be able to do anything correctly. So you need to marry someone that is a believer, someone that loves God, someone that fears God, someone that honors God, and that will support you, whether you are the man or the woman. Because the truth is that if you marry wrongly, you will never be able to fulfill purpose. So marry correctly. And to my sisters, let me say this. When you marry, it's not the end. It is, in fact, the beginning. You know, you have not just settled, you are beginning life again. So if you got married and you think, oh, it's all done. No, it's not all done. You are there for work, and you must do the work if you really want to succeed in your marriage, and of course you want to live out your purpose. Marriage is different from purpose, but marriage can help you to fulfill purpose. So, sir, it's been a pleasure having you on today's edition. I wish we had more time to go on, but we have to just end it now. And honestly, I am grateful that you honored this invitation and you're here. I look forward to us having maybe a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live session where people will be able to ask their questions and you'll be able to respond to their questions. But honestly, from my heart, I am grateful. And I know that the people that have listened to you today are really grateful. People are blessed, and I know that people are going to make adjustments in their lives, especially the singles, to begin to adjust to discovering purpose and working in purpose even before getting married. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the privilege and honor to be here too.
Thank you so much. Now, we have come to the end of today's edition on Singles and Married with Christi. I want to say thank you for staying with us. And if you have not followed this channel, you are wrong. Please follow this channel and put on your notifications so that you'll be able to see the video that will drop next. And keep your fingers crossed, because indeed something rich is coming again next time. Thank you. Have a good